Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are on Cloud Kingdom for the third and final game. Very, very exciting stuff here at the Intel Extreme Masters Qualifier for Katowice in Poland at the end of January. But right now, it is just the qualifier. Despite what you see in the brackets, this is not the main tournament, even though there are that many excellent names spawning in the top right. Losing that game number 2 to some very, very determined play and aggression from his opponent. But he did win game number 1 after holding off the attack. What is his strategy going to be in the final game? He faces elimination if he doesn't win from Evil Geniuses. It is Stephano. His opponent, the last Russian player in the tournament, is the purple Zerg in the bottom left-hand corner of Cloud Kingdom. He's done a tremendous job in game number 2 to take a game off Stephano, but he needs to do it 2 times in a row if he wants to knock him out and advance here. Can he do it? Representing Rock's Kiss, it is LiveZerg. So a lot of craziness happening there, guys, in games 1 and 2. Let's see what they're going to be coming up with in game 3. Both players once again electing to go for that 15 pool. And everything looking very normal so far, but we saw going into the mid-game that LiveZerg had a tendency in both games so far in this series to go for a lot of Zerglings and a huge amount of aggression early on. Now, in game number 1, it was shut down so hard, like the door was slammed in his face and he was left bleeding. That was pretty well as far as shutdown is concerned. Game number 2, he kept up with his tech, and the choice to go Mutalisks turned out to be a good one because Stephano was getting pinned back to his base. The Mutas were able to eventually do some harassment damage, getting up to close to 20 workers killed, and Stephano, as a result, was unable to keep up, and LiveZerg was able to win the war of attrition there. So what will happen here in the third game, I'm not sure. We'll find out in a bit. Both sides have got their pools down. They've got their hatches down as well. And we do see an earlier gas from Stephano. So he will be able to have the option of getting that Zergling speed a lot faster. Mining up to 100 right this second. There we go. And immediately starting that Zergling speed, interestingly, leaving 2 drones on his extractor here. Not too big of a difference, but normally we do see either 1 drone or 3. Stephano opting to leave 2. And in the meantime, LiveZerg is also going to be able to get his own Zergling speed, I would say about a minute behind Stephano as it currently stands. So things looking ropey for both players at the moment. I mean, you do not want to be in this kind of position. LiveZerg has an opportunity now, not only to continue in this tournament, but to get a really nice series win against one of the world's best Zerg players. Stephano, in the meantime, not really used to being in the lower bracket this early in the tournament, to be perfectly frank. I mean, he's just so good, and he wins so much stuff that this is an unusual position for him to be in. He is 1 game away from elimination in this qualifier, and he might not even qualify for the main event out of this. So he really needs to dig deep and make sure he does very, very well in this final game, and it looks like he's going to be doing that by launching a bit of aggression of his own. He has a Baneling Nest about to complete as well, significantly faster than LiveZerg's. About 45 seconds, we can see the Baneling Nest about to pop here in the base of Stephano, and we actually have the Baneling Nest only now just starting at the natural expansion of LiveZerg. So he's going to have a couple more drones as a direct result of that, and Stephano going for massive amounts of aggression here in game number 3. He is trying to effectively beat LiveZerg at his own game here. A lot of Banelings getting morphed in the middle of the map. And he's going to move straight in here. Now, can LiveZerg defend against this? The Baneling Nest is only just about starting to complete, and he's actually abandoning the natural with his drones right now, not wanting to risk losing that many workers. Stephano now moving in behind the mineral line. He knows that those drones have actually been taken out. What is he to do? A lot of defensive Banelings being morphed in from LiveZerg right now, and Stephano choosing now to move in for the kill. Is it going to be enough? Can he break the ramp and move in to try and kill off those drones? It looks like he can at this time. A lot of drones mineral walking just now when there was actually a chance that they could have got taken out by Banelings, but missed opportunities there perhaps. And a couple more Baneling hits go down, but it looks like LiveZerg is going to survive against this onslaught from Stephano. He is making a couple more links and another Baneling, by the way, but he is also droning up behind this, so he's going to try and get back into the game economically. The worker supply is 32 all at the moment, and there's actually a round of 10 germs coming in for Stephano, so even though he was the one being aggressive this game, he is following it up very appropriately indeed. There are 2 more Banelings out in the center of the map, and LiveZerg needs to be so careful when engaging with those. It looks like one of them is going to pop, and Stephano's just going to keep up the aggression for now. LiveZerg going straight into the Roach Ward, but Stephano actually now ahead on work is 35 to 33. And a couple of structures there getting cancelled. Thought he might have to form part of a wall if Stephano was going all in with it, but actually he's going to be droning up back in his main. So the supplies are currently 44 to 47, and it looks like we'll be normalizing into a mid game here. Stephano morphing in a couple of defensive Banelings just in case his opponent has the same idea. And the work supplies are relatively equal. So 38 to 36 at the moment in LiveZerg's favor. Stephano did a good job of droning up behind that, and now he has to hold this counter-aggression coming out from LiveZerg. I keep wanting to say LZ Gamer because his handle is LZ, but of course it isn't. And he's coming in now with the Banelings first. There's a Spine Crawler there and a Queen. And here we go, the defensive Baneling versus the offensive Banelings. Who is going to come out on top? And it looks like everything does get cleaned up with a couple of Banelings to spare for Stephano. So LiveZerg will not be able to get too much purchase here at all. Stephano doing a great job of holding that, and he is actually going to be finishing his layer first with about 50 seconds to spare. And he's going straight for a Spire. Now 50 seconds to spare might be crucial here because 50 seconds is the difference between a Spire and an Infestation Pit. So let's say we have LiveZerg going straight for an Infestation Pit. Yes, it finishes a lot quicker than the Spire, but because Stephano got it started that soon, his Spire will actually finish at the exact same time as the Infestation Pit would finish if LiveZerg put it down straight away. So let's see if Stephano can use Mutalisk to his advantage here on Cloud Kingdom. He's taking his third base. And I like this strategy from Stephano. Usually when you want to go Mutalisk in a ZVZ, you're able to establish that map control early on before your opponent can grab it for himself. And as a direct result of that, it usually means you can try and defend the third base a lot easier. LiveZerg sees that the third has gone down. He's trying to force a cancel off at the third. He is going to get the cancel. Yes, he is. But the drone will remain alive and he'll immediately get put back down. Stephano with more than enough links to handle this off just a second or two early, and he might have been able to save that hatch, but no matter. The Spire is now completing. And the layer is done now for... Wow. For LiveZerg, he's just going to be going for Glitter Reconstitution and +1, and it looks like he's going to be going for possibly a bit of a Roach push. Oh, and there we go. He tried to go for the third base. It doesn't get cancelled. Stephano surrounds it with links, and the third base does not get cancelled there. And he's now about halfway through his Infestation Pit. The problem is they're already set 9 Mutalisks now on the way for Stephano. And LiveZerg spotted the Spire. Okay, so he knows it's up. But my goodness, was that a late scout? He knows that the Mutas are now out on the map, and this could be very, very difficult territory for him indeed. And Stephano actually doubling back there to kill off the Overseer, so that reduces just a little bit of time it takes for his Mutas to fly out across the map, but the Infestation Pit is now complete. He's going for the Hydralisk, and 3 Spore Crawlers getting put down as well for our Russian Zerg. I don't know what he can do from this point. He's got a lot of roaches here. He's forced to put a lot of money into static defense here. He hasn't taken his third base. Stephano has his third base complete, and he's sending drones over there to mine as well. So LiveZerg is in a world of hurt right now. We have Overlords getting taken out left, right, and center in the middle of the map. He is heavily supply blocked, 114 out of 92. So he's having to make a lot more Overlords. And this is a great position for Stephano to be in. He's not trying to kill LiveZerg at this point. He's just establishing that map control, forcing LiveZerg to be inside his base at all times. So there's not too much Stephano can do about confronting the ground army, but he can make sure that there are no Overlords out on the map. He can make sure that LiveZerg is supply blocked for the longest amount of time, only just now starting to get on supply blocked, and he's going to be able to get his third up and mining that much faster as well. So LiveZerg has a larger ground army right now. He wants to try and use this ground army to see if he can leverage a position where he can walk in and maybe snipe off the third base off Stephano. That's really what he's looking to do here. But it is going to be quite tough. I mean, there is no masking that fact right now. We don't have any infestors out on the field with them at the moment, and in fact it's just going to be the Hydralisk Den, so he has to rely on pure DPS of this army. In the meantime, Stephano using the mutas to buy time just to increase his army to the ideal point that he would like. He has got his infestation pit down now as well. The infestors are out there congregating at the third base, which has some spine crawlers up. So Stephano's looking like he is going to consolidate, get up to those earlier infestors as well. And if he has a huge engagement here where LiveZerg does not have fungal growth and Stephano does, it's going to be oh so difficult. Stephano now trying to pick off reinforcements here. I'm not 100% sure he can afford just to go in with the mutas and try and do as much damage as he can. I think he needs the mutas to try and pick off as many of these units as possible to delay the attack against his third. He's buying time for these infestors to get a lot of energy right now. And 4 or 5 fungal growths, even against an army of this size, can be really, really effective. So let's see if Stephano can make this stick. These mutas doing such a good job right now. The entire army of LiveZerg is back at his natural expansion defending. Stephano just looks to be in a great position as far as tech is concerned. He's caught up in supply. Both sides are at about 155. Oh, actually, LiveZerg just rocketing up to about 170 there. But Stephano just has so much stuff right now. And those infestors are beginning to look more and more scary with each passing moment. The infestation pit is here, guys, and it's only now 80% complete at the 16-minute mark. Stephano, if he gets a decent engagement, is going to have so many fungal growths over his opponent, and I'm really worried that's what he's going for here. I just wonder how LiveZerg is going to defend against it. He needs to be able to scout this army very, very early indeed, and he also needs to be able to counter it very quickly, very effectively before it gets to his base. That's going to be his goal here. Stephano with the Mutilist still trying to harass as much as he possibly can. There's actually no Spore Crawl out here at the third, but there are a decent number of Hydralisks, and I think we have got LiveZerg trying his best to bait Stephano into that. Stephano, in the meantime, actually picking off the extractors there. That's a really cool choice from him as well. To limit the gas being mined and therefore ensure that the late game army, which of course is typically gas intensive, favors Stephano just that little bit more. He's up to 181 versus 180 supply at the moment, guys. It is 64 workers apiece. And Stephano has a grand total of 7 infestors to 0. And those 7 have been around for a long time, so they have a lot of energy on them. 6 infestors now coming out for LiveZerg, so he will be able to counter this with some infestor energy of his own. But don't forget, this infestor energy just isn't a lot compared to what Stephano has right now. And Stephano moving out across the map now. He sees the location of the army, the infestors coming in. Look at that, they're practically on full energy here. So if LiveZerg clumps up, this fourth base is going to get taken out very quickly indeed. Stephano coming in from 2 flanks, picking apart a couple of the infestors as they come into the third. That was absolutely huge from Stephano there. The infestor count is 7 to 4, and the 7 from Stephano have more energy. So this is a really, really cool move. More roaches coming in, very low hit points coming into the natural expansion there. For some reason feeling merciful on that infestor that doesn't have a lot of hit points left, and targeting down the infestation pit. Oh no, he targeted down a roach instead. He's not actually targeting down at the moment. It looks like the infestation pit might live here, but he needs to be careful. In the meantime, the fourth base is under attack, not going for the hatchery. Fungal growth and a better concave with those Mutalisks as well, forcing LiveZerg back, and Stephano is on the verge of victory here. GG, attacking in 2 or 3 places at once, using the Mutilist to great effect, and fantastic infestor usage while picking off LiveZerg's own infestors. Take a look at that. The infestation pit was being left alone throughout that engagement. Stephano able to push through. Very well played. Stephano takes the series 2-1 and moves on in the lower bracket.